Welcome to the Profitable Hypnosis Business Online Show, where top experts share their kick-ass money-making strategies and success habits. Hi there. Are you ready to turn your hypnosis business into a business that creates cash flow and gives you the life you want? I'm Caryn, your host from Win with Hypnosis. You might know me as the Attitude of a Champion trainer. And I put together this online event to bring you some of the best experts from around the world. Helen is from Australia, and she's going to be sharing with you #1 secrets, how she successfully and consistently brought in more clients during these pivoting times, how she saw more success, and she, like always, kicked ass in her business and her life. And I'm so thrilled to interview Helen Midas today, one of my favorite people in the world and favorite mentors. And we're going to be talking about pivoting your business like a boss during changing times. So thank you so much for being with us, Helen.
Thank you for having me, Caryn. Thank you so much. I love talking to you.
I know.
Anytime.
I always love talking to you too. You're a renowned hypnotherapy trainer. And Helen has over 2,000 hypnotherapists from over 15 countries who have undertaken her first class HypnoFit training. Helen was awarded the esteemed title of Hypnotist of the Year in 2018 by her peers at Mid-America Conference in Chicago. I was there. So awesome. It's back there in your mantle. I love it. And her vision is to fill the world with empowered souls by making hypnotherapy mainstream and the go-to profession for life's biggest challenges. Helen is author of the book Mindset Dominance, which I read and loved, and has licensed the HypnoFit brand with 5 HypnoFit clinics in Australia and New Zealand. Helen has presented all over the world, including New York, London, Las Vegas, Boston, Missouri, Chicago, and throughout New Zealand and Australia. Helen was co-founder of the biggest hypnosis conference in Australia, being HypnoBiz Australia. And Helen believes that each and every one of us is capable of so much more than we ever dare to imagine. And we need to shed the ego to connect to our infinite source of wisdom within us. And you definitely exude this. So I'm so excited to have you here, Helen. And we have some really great stuff to get to today. So in order to give our audience value, I wanted to start by just asking, as we talk about pivoting your business with the changing times that we went through with COVID, with what happened, how did you respond to the changes that we had to make as hypnotherapists?
Okay, well, first of all, when it happened with us, like you said in my intro, I'm the co-founder of HypnoBiz Australia. And so we were holding a conference amidst all of this. And what I didn't know at the time was this weekend that I held that conference, which was in February, was the last weekend that the Australian government allowed events over 50 people. So we had 200 people from around the world. And in the middle of the conference, we had borders shutting down. We had people who had to fly back. Even my co-founder partner, Selena Valentine, she couldn't even stay for the conference. She needed to fly back to New York in the middle of it. So it was absolutely shocking in terms of what was happening in the middle of a conference. And literally, if we had waited 1 weekend later to hold it, we wouldn't have been able to hold it because as of that Monday after the conference, the Australian government said no more events for more than 50 people. And so it was a real think on your feet how we manage this from the beginning. And as soon as it was over, I immediately went into, okay, what do I need to do now? So in terms of my response, it wasn't it was shock, of course, because we couldn't believe that this was happening. But the first thing that I thought about is, okay, what does this mean for my business? Because my business runs on a lot of live events. So I spend the year, I've got my therapy business, which is my clinic, which runs basically by itself these days. When I first started it 10 years ago, it was just me, but now it runs without me. So I've got my hypnotherapist here, my sales manager here, and they see clients and they don't need me in that. So that just runs by itself. But then there's the training part of the business where I train other hypnotherapists. Now that is run on live events. I have half-day workshops in Australia and New Zealand, which lead to my 2 big retreats at the Gold Coast, which I had a May retreat coming up, which was fully booked. So people were coming from around Australia and New Zealand. So the first thing that I had to think about is, right, what do I need to do? So rather than think, oh my God, let's just wait until the government makes a decision, let's see where this takes us, my mindset was, I need to be in charge of this situation. I can't be I can't be the one reacting to someone else's decision. I have to make the decision. So I need to decide right now. I can't predict, because at that point we couldn't predict how long regulations were going to be a certain way. So I had to actually prepare for the worst. And that's what I did immediately, is prepared for the worst.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is you really just took it as an opportunity.
Well, I saw the opportunity later. The first thing that I did was, how do I save it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first response, is how do I retain my current position, as opposed to, okay, what opportunity is up next? It's more like, okay, people were asking for refunds for my May retreat. People started to panic. And so it was, people started calling the clinic and wanting refunds for programs they had signed up for. So my first position was retain clients. How do I retain them? So I'm not giving back refunds, but they're not wanting the refunds, because I'm giving something more to them than they thought they were going to get. So my first position was retain. And so immediately, even before the government called it, I closed down face-to-face at the clinic, and clients really appreciated that approach, because they liked the fact that I was socially responsible, because businesses were reacting in all sorts of different ways. But the way that I saw it, we didn't know what position we were in. We didn't know how bad the situation was. So I didn't want to be socially irresponsible. And even when we had the conference, my directive to everybody at the conference was social distancing had to happen, even though it wasn't regulation or law. And there was hand sanitizers at every entry point, because I didn't want to be that person who was socially irresponsible. If I'm the leader and I'm the one who's in charge, I need to be the one that makes sure that I take extra caution, extra measures. So I didn't allow handshakes, I didn't allow hugs, which is hard in our profession, and hand sanitizers everywhere. So I basically had the hotel, turning their things upside down, because they didn't have hand sanitizers or anything. And I said, every entry point, as soon as people enter, I want hand sanitizers on the bench. I want them in every entry room. So I took charge. And then I did the same thing with the clinic, like I said. So I closed down and immediately trained my staff in doing Zoom calls. So not everyone knew how to do that.
Yes.
So,
and I remember when you did that. And what I love about what you just said is that you looked at how to make the experience even better. And that's what I saw you did, is how do I make it even better? Yeah.
Exactly. And so what we did, this is not a situation when something like this happens, a big thing like this happens where people don't know what's going on. All our clients just assumed we couldn't hypnotize them over Zoom. They just assumed that. Is we need to make phone calls. It's not a time where you send out emails and say, oh, would you like a Zoom session? We're doing this Zoom. They need to be spoken to. So I had all my hypnotherapists ring up all their clients immediately, one after the other, to reassure them that more than anything, their program is needed now. So during this time of uncertainty, this is not the time to not speak to us. This is not the time to not do business with us. This is the time where we need to do business, and we're going to do it very effectively over Zoom.
Yeah.
So reassuring them in person over the phone as to how that's going to happen. Giving them little practice shots on Zoom first to see that they can do it. They can go on it. And with that methodology, we lost very few clients who actually, there was a couple who still, who wanted to either wait until the end and come and visit us face to face, or who did actually ask for refunds, but they were tiny. And you're going to get that anyway. With any business decision you're going to get, there's going to be a tiny fallout if you still manage it really, really well. With my hypnotherapist, even though I didn't know where Australia was going to be positioned in May, I called it again and said, okay, I can't have a live retreat. I'm going to have to give them a virtual retreat. But going back to what you said, Caryn, I didn't think that they would be satisfied because they've paid for a live retreat. So in my mentality, I've got to give them more, not less. So that way they don't want refunds. They're actually grateful. So I gave them more than I gave any other retreat participants, which was they get 5 days virtual retreat, which we did. They're going to be moved to the November retreat and still have the live experience. And they got 6 months group mentoring, which was absolutely phenomenal, because what that meant was that they didn't have to wait till November to learn everything that they had paid for. They could start early. We had it virtually anyway, so they all had the experience, and they got that support every single month. Yeah. And not only every single month, every single day, because that's that Facebook group that I've set up, which is Helen Minus exclusive. It's my #1 social media outlet where I'm supporting them every single day. Yeah. So they have my presence every day. I get unlimited email support. So these are things I've not given to other retreat participants in the past unless they paid a premium price. So for the same price as a live retreat, they got so much more. I did things like their workbooks. You know, I could have easily got them to, download their workbooks, but I posted them to them and, so that they could have something tangible. And, that decision cost me over $1,000, just the posting of the books. But I felt that, this is not a time to go skimpy. This is a time to lead by example in terms of having an abundance mindset. And they were thrilled, in this day and age where people just get emails, they were thrilled to actually receive their books so that they could actually practice their techniques in the virtual retreat.
Yes, I love that. And with my Attitude of a Champion course, I did the same thing, is emailed them that manual. And it is nice to have that in your hands, isn't it? And again, that's that experience. And did you not learn, I'm sure you did, but tell us a little bit about how you learned something that you thought wasn't possible, getting on Zoom and offering that experience actually turned out amazing.
Oh, look, the funny thing is, Caryn, that the year before, so last year when I was in New Zealand, a participant from my New Zealand workshop walked up to me and she said, Helen, I really want to do your course, but do you offer a virtual option? And I said, oh, no. Like, I'm kinesthetic. I like to be in the room. I wouldn't do it virtually. And she had the final word, because she came to my virtual retreat. She said, can you remember what you said? And I went, oh my God, yes, here I am. I just assumed that I can't pull off a 5-day virtual retreat, because and I was quite nervous about it. Like, I've done that many live retreats, which, I don't get nervous about, because I've done so many of them. I think I've done about 30 to date. But I've never done more than a couple of hours at a time on Zoom in terms of training. And so to do 5 full days, I thought, how am I going to keep people interested? They're going to probably be multitasking and answering emails as I'm talking to them. But when you set yourself up to think about all the possibilities that could go wrong and you prepare for it, it was exhausting. Like the day after the last day, I couldn't actually put a sentence together. I couldn't. My brain had completely, I think it used up every little bit, because it's making sure that everybody is engaged, making sure that they still practice with their partners by sending them to Zoom breakout rooms. I didn't even know those things existed before. I didn't know we had Zoom breakout rooms, which is phenomenal. I still had crew. So I had people volunteer for me and crew for me who have done my sister before and pop into all the rooms to check on everybody, which is so important. So having all these things set up and thought about, I had meetings with my crew before the retreat started, so everyone knew what their role was. We trialed everything out ourselves so that when they came into the experience, they were in professional hands because we had trialed it out, we had talked about it. So in terms of what I learned that you can't assume anything unless you try it. Assuming that you can't do 5 days virtually, in many ways, I think it was a better experience and that I would never have imagined. It was, in many ways, it was a better experience because I can't explain why it was, but I felt like I just gave so much more information. The connection is the same as it would be face-to-face because we had people crying as they had breakthrough moments.
Yeah.
We had laughter. I tell you what is different about a virtual experience, because you've got the chat up. So people are chatting as we're talking. Everybody can connect at the same time, as opposed to if you're in a live room, you can only really talk to the person next to you.
Right.
You can't really have a little conversation with someone on the other side. So the group, you know, sometimes you go to an event and you only get close to a few people. Everybody in the group got to know each other really well over 5 days, because they were long days too. It was like 8:30 to 6:30 every day.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. And so how do you bring that to how that applies to even doing your individual sessions with clients and that Zoom experience and how that?
Yeah, so in terms of that, how that's transferred in a couple of ways. One is that is now an option. So our hypnotherapists had their own limiting beliefs that they didn't want to do Zoom calls, but now they don't mind them. So it's an option. So it's an option that we now offer our clients. So they can choose to see us face-to-face, or they can choose to see us via Zoom. So it doesn't matter where they're located. So it opens up a whole new market, whole new opportunity in terms of what's possible. Right. And so because our hypnotherapists have done it, you know, they're comfortable in continuing to do it. So now we give our clients the option. So in Australia, we have opened up again, but with social distancing. So we just make sure that we do that. The other way is some other things are actually better virtually. So for instance, I used to have it's my 5th year doing a live hypnosis meetup. Mm-hmm. Now, this meetup's been running for 5 years, and I used to go to a location in Melbourne, and we'd have the most amazing speakers at a very low cost. So basically this meetup was never established by me to make money. This was me creating a community of and wanting our profession to be connected and supporting one another. So in fact, when it started out, it was not only a not-for-profit, it was for loss, because I still had to pay for venue hire and all the rest of it. And so they, for a tiny amount, they actually, you know, $15, they used to attend the event. So it was never created with the purpose of profit. It was created for the purpose of community and giving back to my community and having a strong community. And everywhere that I went, they would say, oh, I wish that we had a meetup like yours here. I wish that we had a meetup like yours here. And it's interesting that just before COVID, I got sick of going to that location. Like, it became a drag, like, because it starts at 7:30 at night, and getting all my things and banners and driving out and setting up and music. And I loved it to begin with, but then it became to a point where I was actually thinking of selling it or closing it down. And then COVID hit, and my first speaker after COVID was Rob de Groot. He was supposed to be from Belgium. He was supposed to be at the meetup. And I said to him, okay, we need to do it virtual. And it was so successful because people like yourself can attend. Anybody can attend in any part of America, Canada, anywhere. And the amazing thing about it is that any speaker can attend. So I've got the best of the best coming every month to speak at my Hypnosis Business Success Meetup.
Yes. Yes. So
And
go ahead.
pardon?
I was just going
And
to a lot of great changes and things that you have learned through this.
And so I'm not going back to live. So with that meetup, that's staying virtual and everyone's really happy. They used to have to drive out, to a suburb. And I've just thought of this, Caryn. It just came to me here. Sometimes when I just get a thought, I need to tell you. I thought that because I've mentioned that, anybody who emails me an email at helen@helenmidas.com is welcome to attend the next meetup complimentary.
Love it.
Now, if you can't attend because of the time slot, you get a live recording immediately after. And this is the people that I have and who I have, the people that I have in my meetup every month as a presenter. They are top class professionals. They're people that they get paid thousands of dollars just to speak, because I am part of Professional Speakers Australia. I'm a member. And so I've got connections. They're the best speakers that exist, and they're absolutely amazing. They're phenomenal. And they're not necessarily just hypnotherapists, but they will help you with your business. So for instance, my next speaker, his focus is on how to have an amazing online presence. Mm-hmm. So like I said, if you can't make it on the time, you'll get emailed the recording straight after. So only you guys will get this. Anybody who's listening to this presentation that you've got, Caryn, because I love you so much. And it just occurred to me that would be really valuable.
That is. What a great gift. Thank you.
Yeah. All you need to do is email me, helen@helenmidas.com, and in the subject, put Caryn Bird. So put your name, and then I will know what to do with it.
Okay. And I will make sure there is a link at the bottom of the screen, helen@helenmidas.com, with your name for the meetup. Awesome. What a great
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. I do have another question for you. I would love to know what your number one secret is for not only pivoting, but growing your business, because we all know that you have very successful business with, how many hypnotherapists do you have? 10?
No, in terms of my licensed partners, there's 5 clinics.
5 clinics.
So yeah, 5 clinics in terms of my HypnoFit licensed partners. Okay. On site, I've got 3 hypnotherapists on site and a success manager as well. So she works full time for me.
So what's your number one secret on consistently growing?
So my number one secret would have to be that there are a lot of things that scare you in business.
Yes.
Because you have to go outside your comfort zone. There are conversations that you have to have. There are people that you need to see. And one of the biggest mistakes that therapists make is that they hide behind the screen. So they're happy creating content and maybe sending emails and doing things where they're hiding. So my mantra is that during the day, when you have an opportunity to speak to people, speak to people. Because that's how you're going to get business. You're going to get business through relationships, not through emails. That's how you will get business. So you have the conversations that you don't want to have. You put yourself out there on social media. You do all the things that make you uncomfortable. You say yes when an opportunity comes, even when it scares you, especially when it scares you. And the little mantra that I have in my head when I say yes, and it scares me to death to do something. I can't believe that I actually did stage hypnosis in the United States, and I had every excuse not to, but I still did it, even though it scared the crap out of me. I thought that was the scariest thing, that I would never do anything like that, and I did in front of you 400 people.
You were so good at it. I loved it.
So what I say to myself is, this is my purpose. I am doing this with integrity and with love in my heart, and therefore I am protected.
Yes.
I'm not by myself. This is not just me.
Yeah.
I've got a whole team of people looking after me. And what I mean by a team of people is on the other side.
Yeah.
So I believe that I am protected. I really believe I'm protected. I mean, the fact that I had that conference the last weekend, that it was possible to have a global conference, you know, I get shown that over and over again. Proof that what we see with the naked eye is not all we see.
Yes.
There is so much more.
Yeah, you're right.
And when you are fearful, that fear relates to ego.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to strip away the ego, because what that means is I'm not attached to the outcome. So if somebody says, I don't want to do your course, Helen, and I've gone and flown over to Auckland to present them, that's okay. That's fine. I would have learned something from that experience.
Yes.
So I'm not attached to converting people. I'm not attached to an outcome, because it's all a learning experience. And strip away the ego, so that when I put myself out there and say something from my heart on social media or wherever it is, if you don't like it, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
Like,
and I always remember you saying that. And it is so true, is you're going to have those that don't agree with you, because everyone cannot agree with you. And I know you've said it before, and I just love it. And that's okay. And what I heard you saying too is that when we step through the fear, that the other side is beautiful, but we need to get through the fear to see the beauty on the other side, right? Yeah.
And the thing is, because I believe that we are supported when we live with integrity and serve our purpose, sometimes the things that come out of my mouth, I don't even know where they come from. You know, I'm sure you've experienced it, you know, Caryn, when you see a client, and sometimes I feel like pure magic comes out of my mouth, and it's like, whoa, like that really rocked. But that's because I'm here with the client.
Yes.
If I'm here with the client, but making sure that I'm always here, no matter what I do, is I'm here. And when you're here, you will get supported.
So you must have felt today, I was speaking with Larry Garrett, and he was saying the same thing, is it all comes from trust and love. And your name came up a few times, but it really is that
I love Larry. I adore him. Oh my God. I see him as someone I've always looked up to since I met him. And it's not about his achievements, even though he's had amazing achievements. It's not about that. It's about the person he is from the moment I met him. And you know that too, Caryn, that you just feel that when you talk to him, his attention is all with you, and he's with you. He's not thinking about something else. He's with you. Do you feel that with Larry?
Yes. And that's exactly what he said, is I give 100% of me, and you feel his love. So, you know, it's the same thing. What you were just saying is just, it's from your heart with your clients, and they feel that. And that's when that amazing stuff comes out. That's a number one secret right there. Yeah,
exactly. And so even when you're, you know, presenting at a workshop, you don't make it about you, you make it about the audience. And when you make it about the audience, they feel it, and then they connect with you, and they want to come with you for the journey.
Yep, exactly. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us about pivoting your business and the success that you've seen through this trying time?
Yes, I think that it's really important that as therapists that we don't assume things. As I've been mentoring my hypnotherapists during this time, they've been really scared of asking for money because, you know, the world has shut down and people don't have money. That's not true. So you need to have an abundance mindset, and you'll attract those people. And you can't transform your client into abundance if you're not carrying it yourself. So I never believe that people don't have money. Okay. Yeah. I believe that money is a source of energy that we transfer and is necessary. So this is not a time to be giving away freebies. This is not a time for that. Give extra value, but do not discount your services. Do not devalue yourself and what you offer. Give extra value, like I did with my retreats. I've given more, but I didn't suddenly cut the price of it. Okay?
Yep.
So they're not paying less. They're getting extra things so that they're feeling supported during these times. But do not discount. Do not give away free stuff. We need to be the rock during these times. So work with integrity, but be the leader and show people that that this is what's needed more than ever. We are positioned as hypnotherapists to help the world back into wellness. Yes. We are positioned to help them. This is our gig now. So we need to step up. So get over yourself, get over your fears. People are paying. I can tell you, we are flat out. We are flat out. People can't come quick enough to get help with our services. This is not being opportunistic. This is taking on opportunities. So separate opportunity with opportunistic. It's two different things. Opportunistic means you are taking advantage of a situation without giving the appropriate value. That's not what we're doing. We're transforming lives. We're changing lives. We're giving amazing value, but there is opportunities here to be had.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So go and get those opportunities. Do not assume that people don't want your services. People more than ever are wanting our services right now, more than ever. In fact, there's been a spike in terms of demand for services like us. But if you're not there and you're not showing up because you're afraid they're going to say no, they don't even know you're there. They won't come to you.
Yes. And that's exactly what I'm telling the therapists that I train is you're not selling anything. You're offering your services. And when we offer services, as opposed to thinking of it selling anything, we are giving the best of us to them. So
exactly. It's exactly what we're doing. And you've just got to get that mindset that selling is bad. It's just a transfer of energy. That's all it is. And it's necessary, very necessary.
Yes, exactly. Good. Well, I wanted to let everyone know in our audience that you are offering your resource book, 9 Ways to Get More Hypnotherapy Clients. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And the link is on the bottom of the page here, but tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay, so I actually just got an email just the other day from someone in the United States who said that it was the best ebook they've ever read, and they're going to be implementing it and reading it again. So these 9 ways are awesome. Why? Because they're either free or low cost. So what I see happen quite often with startup businesses is that they do expensive things to begin with. Like, you need to go for low-hanging fruit. So low-hanging fruit is, what can I do? And I always look at that. What can I do that's going to give me the best bang for my buck right now? And so these 9 ways are 9 different ways, and it shows you exactly what you need to do in order for you to have a successful hypnotherapy business. In my first year of business, I earned $165,000, and now it's a 7-figure business. And it did not happen with Google ads or AdWords or expensive Facebook advertising. Sure, I've got those things now that I've got a 7-figure business, but you don't need those when you're creating a 6-figure business. Okay, you don't need those. So there's ways that you can get clients coming through the door that are either free or low cost. So that's what that book's about.
And that is just beautiful. Thank you. That is so helpful to have that foundation to start. So thank you. Okay. And just click on the link down there at the bottom and you can claim your free gift.
Yeah, and I'd love you to join me on my Hypnosis Business Success Global meetup every month as well. Every single month I have amazing speakers. I tell you, these speakers are not just giving out information, they're engaging and from the comfort of your own lounge room. So
yes,
join us.
Either. I'm definitely taking advantage of that one. And yes, and thank you so much for joining us. Helen and I will be on the Facebook page for this summit after this so that we can talk more about what Helen has to offer and some of the programs that Helen offers. So we'll have you on here, Helen, and you can talk to everybody about that. So thanks all for being here. And thank you so much, Helen, for joining us and all of your wisdom. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Everyone.